tried to let go, but something deeper than feelings keeps pulling you back. You've cried in silence, prayed for release, and told yourself it was time to move on. But deep down, a part of your heart just won't cooperate. You keep trying to convince yourself that you're done, but the connection still lingers in your spirit. Maybe you've questioned if you're just being emotional or if you're disobeying God by holding on. But what if you're not holding on by mistake? What if this is one of the ways God shows you it's not time to let go? You felt the tug of war inside your chest. One part of you wants peace, while the other still believes. You've tried distraction, you've tried distance, but the memories, the prayers, and even the quiet moments still point back to them. Why haven't your feelings faded? Why does their name still stir something in you? Why does your spirit feel unsettled every time you try to move on? You keep asking God for clarity, yet nothing feels final. Nothing feels done. Maybe that's because it's not. Maybe your unrest is God's way of speaking, not to confuse you, but to protect what's still unfolding. Let's talk about it. 1, your spirit still waits for closure that never comes. Therefore, the Lord will wait, that he may be gracious to you, and therefore he will be exalted, that he may have mercy on you. For the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are all those who wait for him. You've tried to move on. You've told yourself it's over. But no matter how much time passes, your spirit stays stuck in the middle, waiting for a peace that never fully arrives. The silence, the unanswered questions, the emotional loose ends, they cling to your heart like they're part of your identity now. You don't know how to explain to others why it still lingers, but deep inside, it never felt finished. God may be holding back closure because the story isn't over. He could be protecting you from settling for a false ending, allowing space for maturity, healing, or alignment. When something is divinely timed, even the silence has purpose. It doesn't always mean reconciliation, but it could mean he's not ready for you to forget just yet. There's an internal war between logic and faith. You want to move forward, but your soul keeps pulling you backward. And it's not because you're weak or emotional. It's because your spirit knows what your mind can't make sense of yet. You are not broken for feeling this way. You are human, and more importantly, you're spiritually sensitive. God often speaks through the waiting. If your soul is still restless for answers, it could be that God hasn't given his final word. Pay attention to the stillness. Pay attention to the ache. It might be the very space where God is working on what you cannot yet see. This is one of the most powerful ways God shows you it's not time to let go. 2, God stops you every time you try to block them. But the Helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all things that I said to you. You've reached the point where you just want to shut the door completely. Maybe you've tried to block them, delete their number, or unfollow them online. But every time your finger hovers over the option to cut ties, something inside you pauses. It's like your spirit won't let you do it, even when your mind is screaming for peace. God may be using that hesitation to guard something deeper. The Holy Spirit has a way of protecting what still has purpose. That small voice stopping you could be more than emotion. It could be divine interruption. God brings things back to your remembrance when there's more to the story. You probably feel foolish at times, wondering why you can't be strong enough to just walk away like everyone says you should. You wonder if it means you're stuck in the past or refusing to move forward. But what if you're just being obedient to something you can't yet explain? You are not the only one who has ever felt this tug of war between release and restraint. This is why it's not time to let go. The pause you feel isn't weakness. It might be God's hand holding your heart still for a reason. Don't rush to sever what God may not be finished healing. He knows what still needs to unfold. 3, you're still learning from the pain they caused. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. There's pain you didn't see coming, pain from the very person you once trusted with your heart. And even after the tears, distance, and silence, you find yourself still processing the lessons buried in the hurt. It's as if your pain became the teacher, your soul can't look away from what it's trying to show you. God may be allowing you to extract something deeper from the heartbreak. Sometimes He lets certain wounds stay tender so you never forget the wisdom they bring. Your healing has layers, and through those layers, God shapes your character, your boundaries, and your understanding of love. You've questioned yourself over and over. Why does it still sting? Why are you still thinking about someone who caused you pain? The truth is, healing doesn't always mean forgetting. It means facing the pain with purpose. It means letting God use it, even if you don't understand the full picture yet. This is another way God shows you it's not time to let go. If you're still learning from the pain, it means the process is still sacred. The ache is not wasted. God is shaping something valuable through every scar, and He's not done writing the meaning behind it. 4, they come back around in divine timing. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, He has put eternity in their hearts, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. There's been silence, separation. Time has passed and you've tried to accept it, but then without warning, they show back up. Maybe not to stay, maybe not with all the answers, but they're there. It catches you off guard every time, and something in your heart tells you it's not just chance. God has a way of circling people back into your life when you least expect it. It might be for restoration, it might be for clarity, or it might be to remind you that He still holds the timing in His hands. Nothing returns without reason when it's part of His design. You feel torn between excitement and fear. Is this real? Are you being tested again? Should you even trust what's happening? These questions are natural. You're not weak for being unsure. You're cautious because your heart has learned what it means to protect itself. This is one of the clearest ways God shows you it's not time to let go. When someone reappears in moments marked by peace, growth, or divine alignment, don't dismiss it. God moves people on His clock, not yours. If they keep circling back in ways that stir your spirit, take a closer look. You just may be standing in the middle of divine timing. 5, you've been tested with distance, but hope still lives. The Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him. Time apart was supposed to make you forget. It was supposed to fade your feelings, erase your hope, and make moving on easier. But it hasn't. In fact, the more time goes by, the more certain parts of you still hold on. Your hope may not shout loudly anymore, but it hasn't died. It quietly lives in the back of your soul. God may be using this season of distance to test your trust in what He showed you before. He stretches time to stretch your faith. And if the hope remains after all the silence, it could be because He placed it there to endure. Some things aren't meant to be let go of just because they take time. You probably feel exhausted from hoping. You wonder if it's time to stop expecting anything. But hope is not always a feeling, it's a decision. You're not foolish for still believing. You're faithful, and that matters to God more than you know. This is a deep sign God shows you it's not time to let go. If distance hasn't buried your hope, maybe that hope is anchored in something real. God doesn't let true hope die without fulfilling something through it. Keep your heart open to what He's still building in silence. If this spoke to something you've been quietly carrying in your heart, take a moment to breathe and know that God sees you. You're not the only one waiting, hoping, or wondering what it all means. Keep holding on to Him, even when the answers don't come right away. If the content inspired you, please like, comment, and subscribe to Pure Inspirational so others can be encouraged just like you. Thank you for being here and trusting God even when it's hard. Be blessed.